Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys are here today to talk about Basketball Wives, of course. The OGs. It is episode 4. Who are you? Where did you come from? I'm not mad at that title, and if we're still talking about that girl, then yeah, it's very fitting. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. We would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. Like the video, you guys, it does wonders for my algorithms. And let's talk about some shit in the comments. And yeah, let's get to it. I wasn't mad at this. You know, I normally tell y'all if I was entertained or not. I was entertained on this one. It wasn't bad. Mostly because I thought something real good was gonna happen in the end, and it didn't. But I wasn't mad at it. It's fine. I was entertained. All right, so we start off with Evelyn, and she has Jennifer and Brooke coming over. So Brooke comes in, and she's cutting strawberries, I guess, for their drinks or whatever. Jen comes in. She has on this Gucci outfit that looks like she just finished playing tennis. It's cute. It's whatever. And then in the confessional, Evelyn has on this ice skating looking outfit. I don't like it. I don't like it. And normally Evelyn, I won't say Evelyn can do no wrong, but normally she's fine. You know, her fashion is normally fine. I don't like the way that outfit looks on her though, but it's whatever. Um, so yeah, they're sitting down talking about the other night, and the girl that we don't know, Clayana, comes up, and Jen is like, "Oh my God, I just don't know." Y'all know how Jen talk. Yeah, Jen said the girl got really rah rah. You know, she got kind of rah rah. I said Jen, and then Brooke starts talking about Brittany Renner and the fact that she got up. Well, Brooke said I stood up, but I wasn't being aggressive or anything. And you know, she stood up, and you know, I got triggered or whatever, and she was saying some shit, and she threw a drink on me. Jennifer goes, "It got on me a little bit too, but I'm okay. It's whatever." It's like, when did Jennifer become funny? Because I swear she's killing me. So in the confessional, another dress that Evelyn does not look good in. Her boobies are doing something. I don't know. I don't like it. That pink dress with the cutout in the middle, but it has that little like mesh. Anyway, um, but Jennifer is like, I mean, not Jennifer, Evelyn is like, oh my gosh, she threw a drink in Brooke's face. Brooke is going to want to beat her ass for the rest of her life. And I said that. Y'all know, like, if you know Brooke, Brooke is going to get her back. I would be so surprised if Brooke does not get this girl back. If Brooke ends up, you know, making amends with her, but before laying hands on her or trying to get at her, I will be so surprised. I swear to God. And every review that I've watched since said the same thing. Like, Brooke is definitely going to get her lick back because, I mean, that's just how she is. And I, once again, would love to see it. I'm here. I'm all here for it. All right, so Jen ends up telling them that the Clayana girl called her and wants to go out to lunch or something with her to talk. And Evelyn is like, "Girl, go." I'm like, she's so messy. And Jen is like, "I'm just going to ask her, like, where did you come from? And are you a side bitch? Because I don't know." And I'm like, why she got to be a side bitch? Like, where does that come from? Where did she hear that from somewhere? I don't know. But you know, of course, Evelyn is hyping her up to go, and I'm like, Jen is letting these girls hype her up, and as we see later, she really probably shouldn't have. But we're gonna move on because Evelyn gets to talking about the guy that she's with, that she really don't want to be with, that I don't think she ever was really with like that, and I just don't care. So we move. All right, next up we have the girl that I called unproblematic because she's the one that's married to the WNBA girl. Her name is JCL. I like her. I think that she is a cool girl. She's very country, which in turn makes her sound a little ghetto. Where she's like, "Oh, I gotta find out what is going on with her," and I mean, she can't help it, but she just likes peace. Look, she seems to just be the peacekeeper, and she just want everybody to get along, and I'm not mad at that. So I like her. JCL is her name. All right, so we have, is her name Jacelle? the one that's married to the WNBA player, she's giving her a party and she wants to make sure everybody is going to be on their best behavior. So she is going around talking to all the women one on one because fuck are you doing? Like, why are we over here fighting? She just likes peace. Y'all know I called her unproblematic because she just wants everybody to get along. She talks a little ghetto fab only because she's country, I think, and she can't help that, so it's fine. But she is talking to the girl Clayana, which is the dumbest name in the world. Fuck is a Clayana? Clayana? Anyway, we finally find out who this girl is. And apparently she's the ex-girlfriend to an NBA player, Andre Agudala, something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. I don't care. Like, I don't know who he is. I don't know who she is. I don't care about who they are. But she's telling this girl that she's from the hood and she doesn't want to ever revert back to that because she's no longer that girl. And I'm like, but you are. You are. All right, so the girl tells her, listen, you're invited to the party. You just have to behave. Okay, she's going to behave. Beautiful. Then we have the same girl, the WNBA wife, a player's wife or whatever. She meets with Brittany Renner. And Brittany Renner's like, she comes in, her hair looks like that same wig that she needs to push back a little bit. And she seems like she had already had a couple cocktails and she's going to have another. So, okay. The one thing I do like about the girl, I think Jacia, whatever her name is, the girl, unproblematic girl. The fact that she called her out, she said, "Listen, what I don't like is the name calling." And she's like, "I do feel like had she not stood up, then you wouldn't have, stood up, and everything would have been fine. But I also don't like the fact that you threw that drink." And I like her calling her out on her shit. Like, your friend is supposed to be able to do that. She's supposed to let you know when you are wrong. And no, she was dead ass wrong for throwing that drink. Um, so we wrap it up with Rena saying, listen, I'm not about to apologize to her. She's not going to apologize to me. And just to be honest with you, I can't make your event anyway. She has a showing or she has something planned already. She can't go. And then she goes into this whole thing of, once again, the child support, and she still has to do. Okay, you gotta work, don't we all? Damn it, don't we all? Um, so we move on. All right, so we keep getting all these scenes with Jen and her little baby man. Like, we keep seeing them. They're getting a dog, then they're talking about getting a dog and a crook in her neck. And y'all, he's a baby. However, again, I'll say she's happy. She said he's her person. And I'm like, well, when you find your person, you find your person. Um, is he her person? But I mean, we can't question if he's her person or not. Maybe her person was just born later, like much later than she was born. We don't know what God has in store. She seems to be happy, and again, I want her to be happy, but it's too much of them. Like, I don't give, yeah, I say I don't care about nothing. It's true, but I don't have to say it all the time. So we move on. All right, next we got, is her name Jaceel, y'all? I don't know. It's a lot of spaces and shit in between her name. But her mate comes home and I'm like, damn, are we sure that's a girl? Because she got the man thing down. Like, she got the whole Butch thing down. I can say Butch, right? Yeah, they have Butch. She has the whole Butch thing down to a T. Like, to a T. She seems like a nice enough woman though. Like, listen, I'm not trying to clown her at all. She really does seem like a nice enough woman. She says she's not here for the madness because the girl says, I mean, her wife says, listen, I'm going to give you this party. The girls are cool, but they be, with the shit sometimes. And her girl said, cool. However, we're not with the shit. So if they start, they going to have to go. And I ain't mad at her. And yes, your wife has been attempting to keep the peace. She has been meeting with everyone so that she can keep the peace for you. So I like them. I like them. Y'all, why Jackie can't talk? So she's sitting here talking to Brooke. She did a pop up with Brooke. She brought her some roses, very beautiful. She ends up telling her that she's very sorry that she wasn't there for her during, her time of need when she lost her daughter. Brooke ends up giving her, and she said it's not an obituary, it's a book of her daughter. And basically, it's a whole lot of her pictures because her daughter was beautiful. And then we get to talking about what happened. And Brooke says, do you think I was wrong for, you know, standing up? And Jackie's like, no, I feel like even though you stood up, you were still trying to conversate and talk to her in a calm manner. And in her confessional, she's like, yeah, we have Evelyn and Vanessa that are now friends or whatever, but then we have two more that has fallen out. And I said, felon? What does she mean? Does she mean fallen? Like, falling out? Jackie. So we end the scene with Jackie telling her, look, maybe at some point you guys can get to a good place or whatever. And Brooke says, all I know is sometimes bitches got to be put in their place. And I said, that's going to be a no for her. Yeah, next up we have the girl that's married to the WNBA player Natasha. She meets up with Brittany Renner and Vanessa. And y'all see how these meetups are going, where we're not really putting the OGs with the newbies a whole heck of a lot. Have y'all noticed that? They kind of film together and the OGs kind of film together. It's fine. It's whatever. But she's telling them that she didn't get any. Her girl came in town and she didn't get any because she has a game, and she's like, they can't do it before the game. So the girl Vanessa's like, well, how does that work? And I'm like, what do you mean, how does that work? Like, what do you want her to sit here and tell you exactly how they do it? Like, seriously. And yes, she did. She's like, do you mean, like, is there a strap on? Because the girl, is it Giselle, I don't know. But she's like, we're grown. Just say it. What do you want to know? Then she says, well, you use a dildo. She says, yeah, of course. No, not a dildo. Sorry. She says strap on. Yeah, of course. And then she's like, well, do you have the double sided or whatever? And she's like, fuck are you talking about? And she's like, the one that has two. And then you put it in there. It was just a lot. It was a lot. And then, of course, your girl Brittany Renner was like, oh, that sounds fun. And I'm like, this whole conversation is a lot. It's a lot. We don't need to know. All right, now we got to meet up with Jen and Clayani, I think it is. And Jen is in the confessional, like, what is her name? Kayani? Kalani? Like, what is her name? And she said, I just call her Kalanic because I think she's full of shit. And I said, okay, I'll allow it. I'm gonna allow that. So they end up meeting up. They get up and give this phony hug. And I'm like, if y'all don't like each other, why are we hugging? But okay. And so they sit down and they try to hash it out. So the girl is just like, listen, you came at me wrong, asking me how did I get into the group and who was I? And Jen is like, well, I think you took it wrong because I was just saying, how did you end up at the skating rink? Like, whose friend were you or whatever? And she's like, you were mad aggressive. You got Brittany going. Brittany's her own person. I can't make Brittany go. And then they just go back and forth. Okay, yeah. Y'all, so then we get into the dumbest back and forth that I have ever. We get into the dumbest. So the girl asks Jen, so who are you and why are you here? And she's like, what do you mean, why am I here? Who do you know? What do you mean? I know everybody. Who do you know? How are you here? Why are you here? And I'm just like, are you really answering this girl with this dumb shit? And she's like, I know everybody and I'm here because we hang out. Girl. And then the girl ends up asking her who she was married to and how long ago was it. And Jen, why are you entertaining this bitch? I'm sorry.
Why? Oh my God. Girl, who the hell are you? That's what we're all trying to figure out. Why are you friends with people? Because we have things in common.
What do you have in common with them women?
We were all wives at one point.
Okay, how
The
long?
majority.
How long?
Girl, I'm not doing an interview with you.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
A big thing with Jennifer is she can dish it, but she can't take it. You are a grown-ass woman, so if you come to me with that energy, I'm going to meet you where you are. And how long ago were you married?
It doesn't matter.
Very well matters.
Were you ever married? Because I heard you were a side
No, never. I knew my daughter's father at 19. We
Okay.
didn't have my daughter until I was 25. It looks like
Okay.
you're just trying to be
I'm trying to be what? Girl, I
you're
was
not
a
relevant.
basketball wife.
For what,
Were you
2
ever?
years? Or what,
Were
1
you
year,
ever?
2 years?
No,
You
I
have
was
no
with my man
kids.
for a whole decade.
What man was he? What's his name?
Why does it matter?
Because he was never relevant.
And you were? You don't get to question me. You don't get to question what I've done, who I've been married to, who am I? Oh, no. You trying to get a seat at the table, not me, honey.
Oh, I
And you
was
were?
relevant. My daughter's father
You're a side. You're a side.
relevant.
You're a side girl.
No, baby.
Isn't he married?
Do your research. My daughter's 14.
Isn't he married?
He got married 3 years ago, baby.
Well, word
do
on
your
the street
homework.
is you're the side
Do
bitch.
your homework.
My thing is, I
You're
don't care about your
You're
man.
trash.
Oh, I'm
You're
trash?
irrelevant. You're
Okay.
hanging on by a thread. You're hanging on by a thread.
I think that's you,
have
boo.
nothing.
I think that's you.
You were married 10
You're
years ago.
delusional.
Girl, you were married 10 years ago.
What?
Nothing. Girl, bye. You're irrelevant. You're hanging on by a
Oh,
thread.
my God.
I think it said a lot.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just couldn't even describe this argument, like the back and forth. But the funny part of it is the way Jen was doing her head the whole time, where she's like, girl, I've been a basketball wife. Like, I'm an OG basketball. Like, what are you talking about? I was married a decade. And she was like doing her head like, you're a dummy. Like, the whole argument was ridiculous. But even though, I mean, I don't think points were made on either end. I really don't. I don't think points were made. It was just dumb. But we still gonna give it to Jen because I like Jen. Yeah, so then we get to the part where Jen is walking out and the girl pushes her, but the push was so, I don't know, y'all. Like, this should be so scripted and stuff that I don't know that I believe it. Like, is Jen gonna let somebody push her like that? She literally pushed her to the point of pushing her and rubbing all down her arms. I mean, if you're watching this, I'm sure you've seen it, where it's like she didn't just push her and push off of her. Like, she pushed her, and I don't know, it didn't seem like it was real to me. And she wasn't even looking at Jen when she did it. She was looking to the left. Y'all gotta watch it again. Shit just didn't seem right. And here's my thing with Jennifer. We all know that Jennifer is she's a super bougie girl. That's fine. I want to call her sweet. I don't know how sweet she is. She used to be sweet, or at least, season 1 or whatever. I thought she was sweet. But like, she's not going to do anything. Like, we know Jen is not a fighter. She's not a fighter. She's not confrontational like that or whatever. I mean, through the years, she has grown to be more confrontational than she was before, but I still don't think she can fight. And that's not a bad thing. She's a grown-ass woman. She shouldn't have to know how to fight. But I think she let Evelyn and them, well, actually, it wasn't even Brooke. It was just Evelyn, like, kind of egging her on and hyping her up to go to this little meeting. So she came in thinking she was all bad or whatever. And, like, you just let her push you like that? I was very, very disappointed. Like, I was very disappointed. If this is real and Jen let her push her like that, I don't know. Or maybe it was just the grown-up thing to do, where she just was like, listen, she put her hands on me. And then later on we see where she has been disinvited to the party or whatever, because the girl said, she can't come to her girlfriend's part or her wife's party because she laid hands on Jennifer. So y'all tell me what you think. Like, this isn't one of those let me just ask you a question to get you to comment type of thing. I really want to know if y'all think that was real. Because again, if you're watching this, I'm assuming that you've watched the show, and did you feel like that was real? I just want to know. And we move on from that. All right, y'all. So this may have been real, because Jen is like standing by a car and she's not even talking, she's dialing somebody, and we don't know who she's dialing because she never actually put the phone up to her face. She's just talking out loud. So basically she's talking to us because she knows the cameras are right there. And y'all, she said, oh, she put her fucking hands on me? And then she said, wow. And I said, oh, that might be real, because that kind of wow, that's real. Wow. Like, when you drag it on, you really like, what? Like, you be thinking at the same time. But if it wasn't real, then you would say it real quick, like, oh, wow. Wow. She touched me like that? Wow. That's not real. But wow. Yeah, you drag it on a little bit. Shit could be real, y'all. Wow. I'm so dumb. All right, y'all. So we have the girl Giselle, the WNBA girl's wife. She meets up with Jen, and Jen is like, "Oh, hey, girl," and she's like, "Oh, you look cute. Oh, you look cute too." And then Jen is like, "Oh, thank God I don't look like what I've been through." I'm like, "Girl, if you don't cut it out, you were not just beat down or whatever. Jen, calm down." But yeah, I don't know how real it is because I swear to God they were smiling. They were smirking or whatever as they were talking about it. Like Jen is telling her, she goes, "Yeah, I was talking to her." And then she starts getting like really defensive. And then, she was acting really weird. And I'm like, first of all, you don't even know her. So you don't know if her behavior is weird for her or not. She could just be a fucking weirdo, which I think she is. I'm sorry. I think Lil Cleana or whatever is a weirdo. She acts very, very weird. So then Jen is like, "Girl," and then she takes both hands. She's like, "So, I get up and I'm walking out because she's screaming at me with people there. Like, people were there. And she's like screaming at me. And so I walk out, and then she takes both hands and she pushes me in the chest." And I'm like, "No, Jen, she did not. She pushed you on the arms, and then she slid her hands down your arms. Like, it was not that serious at all. I mean, it was serious enough for if you touch me like that, it's going to go down. But, like, Jen is putting 20 on 10. She really is. And as she's telling the girl, Giselle or whatever her name is, she has like a smirk on her face, and so does Jen. And even when they were in there arguing, Jen and the little Chihuahua girl, um, and I'm sorry, I know I've never referred to her as the Chihuahua girl, the Cleana, but she really does remind me of like a little Chihuahua. But I mean, listen, I always have to say cute girl, pretty girl, she's fine. However, she does come off like a little Chihuahua. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just felt like they were smirking, more so Jen, and I'm like, "Damn, Jen, you've been doing this for years. You don't know how to get your shit off without smiling yet? Like look more convincing?" So again, I don't know how serious all this is. So we're gonna take everything with a grain of salt. Anyway, Jen tells the girl that she's not coming to the party if the little Chihuahua's there. So again, we do find out later on that she disinvites the little girl, and not little girl, the little lady. And I'm hoping that we don't have to see her anymore because none of her shit makes sense. Like I honestly am like Jen, where I don't know where she came from. She literally just came out of the blue on an episode where she just appeared and was like, "Here." They just thrust her at us, and she is not enjoyable. So if she put her hands on Jen, I'm fine if she's not back. All right, y'all. So then we have Evelyn with her guy, and I'm not gonna lie, I actually enjoyed this segment. Why? Because her guy reminds me of my guy. Everything reminds me of my guy, right? Sorry, y'all. I know I just be like my man, my man, my man, but that's where we are right now. So y'all just gotta deal. But what's funny is when they first started speaking, he sounded like Don Juan to me, like Candy's assistant Don Juan. His actual voice sounded like Don Juan. But then as she's talking to him and she's telling him that, I don't feel comfortable. I feel overwhelmed talking about getting married again. And then we go into crying about Ocho Cinco again. And I'm like, damn, are we still talking about him? Are we still crying about him? Shit. But you know what? Honestly, I think Evelyn really loved Chad Ochocinco because I really feel like they were friends. I feel like more than just the fact that they were married and romantic. When you saw them on TV or whatever, they had fun together. Like they were laughing, joking. I never seen her like that or whatever. So I really do think that did affect her, but damn, she's still crying about it. So, she's telling him, it's a whole lot, it's overwhelming. He's like, why don't we just pump our brakes or whatever, and we'll just take it day by day, month by month. And she's like, oh, well, what if we just date and don't talk about getting married? And he's like, long term? No. And he's like, listen, you're going to have to get over it. He's like, short term, we'll work it out, we'll figure it out. He's like, but it's not going to fly long term. And that's what I mean when I say he reminds me of my guy, because he is very calm, soft spoken. He's gonna be even killed on things, but when he says no, and like, he has definitive answers, and when his mind is made up, it's made up, and that's that. And I felt like he did it in a way that was still respectful. Like, no, we're just not gonna do that, and I mean that. So either you can take that or you can leave that, and I do like that. So the bad part is I actually like him for her, like in real life. I like him for her, and it's too bad that they didn't work out. Because I know she came out on social media saying that they were not getting married, or did they just break up altogether? I think they broke up altogether, and I think that might be her loss. That might be her loss, because she really probably needed just a regular guy like him. He seemed to have his head on straight. He wasn't bad looking. He's a good looking guy. And yeah, that might be Evelyn's loss in real life. So we move on. All right, y'all, let me wrap this shit up, because it actually wasn't this good for me to still be sitting here after 26 minutes. Um, so we end up going to this party. It was a grown and sexy party. It was just a lot of women, a lot of NBA women, WNBA women or whatever. And who was it? Brooke was like, where are the men? And yeah, it was no men there. It was just all women, all women. It was crazy. But they were nice. It was a classy party. Everybody got along. Everybody was sitting there just sipping their wine. I don't like what did Brooke have on? It was very inappropriate. Like, why are you here in a dress that looks like, the dress with the boobies and the booty and all that, and it looks like, she has nothing. I I did not understand why she had that on. But anyway, it was fine. The party was fine, classy. We drank our wine. Everybody talked to one another. There was no problems. That's it. So, if you are still here, you are the real MVP. Thank you very much. If you have not already, please consider subscribing. If you're new to the channel, we would love to have you be part of the Beautiful People family. Like the video. Again, it does wonders for the algorithm. Comment. Let's talk about some things. And I will see you guys in the next video. Smooches.